One is that she was 6'4" tall. And remember, this is the 1850s, when they tell us people on the whole were shorter than they are now. So you can only imagine, back in those days, a 6'4" tall woman must have looked great.
Well, yes, particularly great to sailors who shipwrecked near her home, because the other reason that Abigail Becker was remarkable was that she was not only tall, but she was immensely strong. And although she couldn't swim, when a ship would wreck near her home, she would wade out into the water and grab sailors by the scruff of the neck and pull them ashore and save their lives. And she did that often enough that she gained the nickname the Angel of Long Point.
She also, towards the end of her life, she was also, when she was quite elderly, actually, given a medal for bravery from the governor of New York State, because, of course, many of the sailors she saved were American. They still talk about her in that part of Ontario today. She's still quite a local folkloric celebrity. So that's what this song is about, folks, and it's called The Angel of Long Point. It's a cruel night in November, and an old three-masted schooner seeks the lee side of the sandspit, the calm of the inner bay. But she's fast upon the bar, and lashed by all the fury, freeze and sleet and snow, oh, the rage of all Lake Erie. With ice way down her keel dug in, the old ship will never sail again. Now her decks are all awash, and there's a fiercely storm to starboard, and all floating in the wild wind to take the men to safety. And her captain sees the peril with the heaving hull beneath them, so he cries in desperation, "We'll tie ourselves to the rigging." Oh, 8 men wait for a freezing death, lashed to the rigging of a broken wreck. The conductor, she was a fine old ship, but she never will sail again. And the men all pray, but the hope is gone. The schooner smashed but in the dawn. A welcome fire in a woman's face, with a good strong hand she'll lead them all ashore. Oh, Abigail Becker will see them safe once more. In the shelter of the sand dunes there stands a lonely cabin, where a woman called the Angel wakes from a troubled sleep. For her dreams have been of shipwreck, of sailors' lives in peril, so she scans the lake and marshes to find distress lights breaking. Three masts aground, the keel again held fast, and never to sail again. So she girds her skirts around her, and she wades into the water, through the breakers and through the undertow, but she cannot swim a stroke. Then she hails the weary sailors, and with bare-handed courage brings them one by one half frozen through the fire she's made ashore. 8 men wait for a freezing death, lashed to the rigging of a broken wreck. The conductor, she was a fine old ship, but she never will sail again. And the men all pray, but the hope is gone. The schooner smashed, but in the dawn, a welcome fire in a woman's face, with a good strong hand she'll lead them all ashore. Oh, Abigail Becker will see them safe once more. Temper, heavy seas and hellish weather, old Erie's claims so many on her hidden bars and shoals. But the Long Point has an angel who watches o'er the water, unfortunate the sailor who feels her steady hand.
England wait for a freezing death, lashed to the rigging of a broken wreck. The conductor, she was a fine old ship, but she never will sail again. And the men all pray that the hope is gone. The schooner smashed by in the dawn. A welcome fire in the woman's face, where the good strong hand she'll lead them all ashore.
Abigail Becker will see them safe once more. But Abigail defies her. Abigail, the angel who guards the Long Point shore.
Well, not far from where I live, over near Owen Sound, there's a gorgeous river that rolls through the countryside. And the name of the river is the mighty rocky Saugeen River. And if you follow it down far enough, you will come across a beautiful stone bridge. Now, some of the stones it's built out of are enormous, brought there from as far away as 1.5 kilometers by hand. And they're dry fitted into the stream with channels open so that the water can flow through. It's 200 feet across and 6 feet wide and 5 feet deep.
They were really impressed by that in England.
Okay, well, maybe 200 feet of bridge doesn't sound that mighty. But the person who built it was. You see, the person who built this bridge was a tiny elderly lady by the name of Margaret Fitzsimmons, or Maggie, as she was known to her family and friends. Now, it took Maggie 20 years to build this bridge, and she finished it when she was 81 years old. It all had to do with Canada's most powerful elixir. Now, I'm not talking about whiskey, no. I'm talking about maple syrup. Maggie was on her way back from the sugar bush with a couple of pails of sap to boil down, and she came up to the river and she slipped in, and she vowed by God she was going to build a bridge. This is called Maggie. Ribbons of water around unwavering stone. A lifetime flows by and polishes the stone. Maggie has her hands full with buckets of sweet dreams. She's headed back to boil the sap that stops up at the stream. The river has been running high and Maggie is still mass. She's eyeing up a fallen log, the only way to pass. The Saugeen is a stallion rambunctious in the spring. It kicks at Maggie's pails of sap and pulls my Maggie in. Maggie shakes an angry fist, she's never been one for crying. She takes a vow to build a bridge and the devil take her trying. Maggie's moving mountains one by one. She'll coax them gently down to where the river runs. And all the while her boots keep time to the river's song as Maggie marches on. She'll pick the perfect pieces for her puzzle in the stream, but her rocks of indignation don't share in Maggie's dream. So Maggie grabs a crowbar to persuade her stubborn stones. They grumble and they protest as they move to their new home. Meanwhile, idle gossip is pastime for the birds. Maggie knows they're mocking this foolishness of hers. They chirp about her mending and the dishes in her sink. But one thing Maggie's learned is not to care what others think. Maggie's moving mountains one by one. She'll coax them gently down to where the river runs. And all the while her boots keep time to the river's song as Maggie marches on. 20 years of Maggie's sweat and pride. She's come to lay her final stone and see her promise done. She finally gets to cross her bridge in the setting sun, and Maggie can't remember now how it all began. She hasn't tapped a single tree since starting on her plan. Maggie's done with mountains now, she's just turned 81. She smiles because her boots keep time to the river song. Maggie's moving mountains one by one. She coaxes them gently down to where the river runs, and all the while her boots keep time to the river song. As Maggie marches on, Maggie's moving mountains one by one. She coaxes them gently down to where the river runs, and all the while her boots keep time to the river song. As Maggie marches on.
We just got back from the festival in Canso, and then we had the opportunity of playing in Lunenburg for the Folk Harbor Society. Now, Lunenburg's a beautiful place. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I absolutely recommend that you go there sometime. It's the birthplace of the schooner Blue Nose, and it's the home of, well, one of my favorite Canadian folk festivals, the Lunenburg Folk Harbor Festival. Now, if you go to Lunenburg at festival time, well, you'll find yourself in a town that cascades up from the sea in beautiful pastel-colored clapboard buildings. You'll find music everywhere. It seems to float down out of the sky. You'll find amazing food, especially if you like seafood, wonderful and warm people. And if you're like me, you'll find yourself as close as you can get to falling in love with a place away from home. This song is a tribute to the town and to the festival, and it's called Lunenburg Skies. I went down to the shore of the Lunenburg Harbor to lend voice to the festival song. And she took me in, share what she couldn't give, and in spirit we sang right along. She made it so easy to want her in the pastels and blue of the dawn. Like a lover and friend with each breath taken in, I felt like I truly belonged. And the Lunenburg skies were warm and alive, and a melody danced on the breeze as the notes poured down all over the town. We joined in the sweet harmony. As I lay in the bed upstairs in her spare room, with the window with its back to the sea, looking west towards home, I wondered alone if the road left me here, could it be? And she said that with winter comes anguish, but I'd never felt so much at peace. There were pictures of friends, and the message they sent made me wish there was a picture of me. And the Lunenburg skies were warm and alive, and a melody danced on the breeze as the notes poured down all over the town. We joined in the sweet harmony. Now the wharf must be quiet as everything sleeps, for the marquee was struck months ago. Our dresses and skin replaced by the wind, to her pastels look gray in the cold. When she held me so tight in the light of the dawn, and it felt like she'd never let go. Was it me she held tight, or the spirit inside that carries me back down this road? And the Lunenburg skies are warm and alive, hear the melody dance on the breeze, as the notes pour down all over the town. We join in the sweet harmony, and the Lunenburg skies are warm and alive, hear the melody dance on the breeze, as the notes pour down all over the town. We join in the sweet harmony, as the notes pour down all over the town. We join in the sweet harmony. One of the things that's a big concern to us in this group is the environment and greenhouse gas emissions particularly. And because we're a traveling group, well, we try to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And one of the things that we try to do is we try to pack as lightly as possible. Because, you know, folks, extra weight in a vehicle means extra work on the engine, and extra work on the engine means extra greenhouse gas emissions. And of course, we don't want that as good environmental people. But there has been something that has plagued us on our trip up here to Gravenhurst today, and that is, of course, the very heavy weight of our CDs and DVDs just up over here under the light. But thankfully, as good environmental people, well, there is something you can do to make our trip home just a little bit greener. So please, ladies and gentlemen, for the sake of the planet, please purchase one or several of our fine products, and you know that Mother Nature will love you. Yes, take home that tiny little piece of Tanglefoot as your reward for your very good environmental deed. And let Tanglefoot take home just a tiny little piece of you.
You know, I must tell you, I was in the 80s. I lived in Toronto, and when I was 25, I had quite a badly broken nose one winter playing hockey in Scarborough, and I had to have surgery the following summer to have it fixed. Now, if you've ever had that kind of surgery, it's called a nasal septoplasty. You'll know that at the end of the surgery, they pack your sinuses with these huge wads of gauze bandage, and each one of those bandages has a little string that comes down. And they tie those two strings in a loop right about here. And 5 days later, you go in and you see the surgeon again. And you sit on the table in his office, and he stands in front of you, and he puts one hand on your forehead, and with the other hand, he takes a hold of that little loop of string, and he says, "Here's something you're going to remember for the rest of your life." And he pulls them out. Now, in reality, it's over in just a second, you know. And it's not that it's painful. It doesn't hurt exactly. But it is the most uncomfortable, unspeakable, ghastly sensation that you can imagine. And it feels like it goes on forever. Okay? And that's about what it feels like to stand up here on stage while Terry's doing that environmental thing.
Well, then I think my work is done here.
Anybody else got something they want to share with the audience? Oh yes, Al will be showing his appendectomy scar after the show. He does that. There's no graceful way to this. I'm just going to introduce these reprobates, and we're going to get out of here with a couple more tunes. And I think I'm going to start right over here to my immediate, but obviously not political right. Terry here, he plays that banjo, he plays that guitar, and he plays that mandolin, and clearly he tried to play you good people. Ladies and gentlemen, our own resident enviro-evangelist from Guelph, Ontario, Mr. Terry Blue Nose Young. Over here to my left is a woman I talked about before. You know, one thing you should realize that we're out on the road a fair bit, and a little while ago, Terry and Sandra got together and they said, what could we do when we're not busy going out on the road and sitting in vans and going and playing gigs with Tanglefoot? And they said, I know, let's put together a CD and get bookings and go out on the road and sit in the van and get other gigs. And they have a wonderful CD project up there called My Sweet Patootie. It's kind of a Texas swing thing with fiddle and guitar. It's really great. I encourage you to go take a look at that. You guys are amazing. I'm proud of them, really. But Sandra here, you know, she's something. She makes that violin sing, and she makes that viola sing, and she makes the rest of us just want to go home and practice. From Woodford, Ontario, this is Miss Sandra Tugboat Annie Swinnell. Next to Sandra is the senior resident in terms of tenure with this band. Steve's been in this band 714 years. Or so. No one's sure. He hasn't been carbon dated in a long time, but we're looking into it. But Steve is the guy that keeps this band all completely running. I mean, he's the one that looks after the office. He gets the bookings and the contracts. Great bookings like this one, Music on the Barge yet again. Thank you all for coming out. We just love coming here every summer. And Steve's also the one that pays us, so he's Mr. Happy. And not only that, he keeps the van in working order. He comes around to each one of our houses and picks us up on the way to the gigs, which personally I like, because I'm a bit of a couch potato. But enough about me, I'm talking about Steve. Steve here is the guy, like I said, keeps together. He's also the only one in the folk musician world who simultaneously has endorsements with guitar strings and hair conditioner. From Owen Sound, Ontario, Mr. Stephen Sloop John B. Ritchie. Al down there is a close second. I think he's 713 years and change since he's been in this band. But you know what? I want you to look down there, because you know what I like about this guy? Just look at that. Even though he's been in this band most of a millennium, he still wears that wide-eyed grin of a rookie on his first gig. And when you're having a bad day, you look down there and see that enthusiasm. It's not a bad thing. I want to welcome from Kitchener, Ontario, Mr. Al My Dingalingy Parrish.
And your master of ceremonies for these last few minutes. As he mentioned earlier, Rob was Tanglefoot's original piano player from 1996 to 2002, at which point he began 5 years of paternity leave. And during that time, he also wrote and had published his first novel, Orphans of Winter, which is available from his website, robritchie.ca, and is an excellent book about native spirituality and hockey, of course. What would you expect? We are delighted to have him back for his second tenure with Tanglefoot. Please welcome from Wyerton, Ontario, Robert Edmund Fitzgerald Ritchie.
He rules a mighty empire, reigns o'er the land and sea, bestrides the globe invincible in valorous victory. Those who would oppose him the path of evil tread, while those who bow before him surely have nothing to dread. Bold defender of the truth, unflinching in his might, his empire everlasting, ever sure and ever right.
Like my father and like my grandfather before, we lived in New England a century or more. I plowed our fields when I was a boy, now I'm plowing the ocean for George. He says the foreign tyrants must be put to flight, and I must fight for victory, for his empire and his right. At 16 I left home to sail on the sea. America American merchantmen sailors were we, till a Royal Navy ship fired a shot across our bow. Now I'm sailing the sea for King George. The press gang says that my accent comes from the Isle of Wight, and thus a subject of the crown for King George I must play. Under threat did I toil upon HMS Victory until I escaped from the Royal Navy. For George I was fighting a fierce foreign foe. Now the foe that I'm fighting is George. Those who seek to rule the world must one day defeated be. 6 Emperor Tyrannus, all will fall eventually. A mighty empire reigns o'er the land and sea, bestrides the globe invincible in valorous victory. Those who would oppose him the path of evil tread, while those who bow before him surely have nothing to dread. Bold defender of the truth, unflinching in his might, his empire everlasting, ever sure and ever right.
Charge him alone outstanding in his net. The task seemed far too large. The wired had their gamers, their simmies and their Myers. But time was running down so fast they need to get inspired. They need to be persistent, they need to be set loose. They need to use a tactics they perfected on the Bruce.
The defensemen were steady, the wings they played a wide. They charged as one into the parade of battle. 7 aside in desperation, they pressed on for more. They wanted to show them the boys from the Bruce to the score.
Now Wesley Ashley captained, he led the team in goals. He led the prayer before each game, he was their heart and soul. The pros would come a-courting, the ice blood in his veins. But timber bearers and gambling men, he thought them all the same. Cigar shop and talkers, promising their fruits. Wesley never bit the apple, his game was on the Bruce. He played his life in Wyerton, dreaming of this win. So for the rally to continue, it was surely up to him.
The defensemen were steady, the wings they played it wide. They charged as one into the parade of battle. 7 aside in desperation, they pressed on for more. They wanted to show them the boys from the Bruce to the score.
With all due respect to you people of vision, to those with a calling, to those with a mission, the game's like religion, the passion's so strong, but the rivers freeze early, in winter so cold and so long. row. Earl Myers' wrister found the strings behind Malone. Billy Bean through the air was a tying shot was fired. But Mabel on was nothing to the scene that next transpired. Second step for victory, the rubbing officer. Ashley streamed the battle cry and Simmy led the surge. He struck the puck from Gilbert and played it for the lead. Malone was unexpected and he had no chance to save.
The defensemen were steady, the wings that played it wide. They charged as one into the parade of battle. 7 aside in desperation, they pressed on for more. They wanted to shove in the boys to the score. The defensemen were steady, the wings they played it wide. They charged as one into the parade of battle. 7 aside in desperation, they pressed on for more. The boys tasted victory, the boys from the Bruce to the score.
Thanks a lot, folks. I hope we see you next year. Thanks very much.
I
To the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggling the pay. Make a lot of money and give it all away.
Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggling the pay. Make a lot of money and give it all away.
It's a prohibition winter and the town is cold and dry. Along comes William Allen with a twinkle in his eye. He's got a place by the river where you can drink away the chill. Just bang on the aircraft hangar and ask for dollar bills.
Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggling the pay. Make a lot of money and give it all away. Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggling the pay. Make a lot of money and give it all away.
Well, the hangar's hot as Hades and the boiler's stoked with wood. The rafters ring with laughter, but it's always understood. Getting out of hand, proving you're a man, drinking the booze you bought. You'll hear from Billy's 12 gauge, 'cause it's Bill who calls the shots.
Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggling the pay. Make a lot of money and give it all away. Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggling the pay. Make a lot of money and give it all away.
The Cataraqui River is where Billy hides his gin, wearing women's pantaloons not meant for swimming in. No matter if you laugh, well, he don't care what you think. Billy's got his reasons for those frilly other things.
Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggle and the pain. Make a lot of money and give it all away. Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggle and the pain. Make a lot of money and give it all away.
There's a remedy in Billy's heart for a town that's cold and dry. Coats and hats for the village kids his revenue will buy. Ill-gotten gain and good things come from Billy still, and not a dollar for himself.
The man called Dollar Bill. Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggle and the pain. Make a lot of money and give it all away. Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggle and the pain. Make a lot of money and give it all away. Juggle and the pay, make a lot of money and give it all away. Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggle and the pay, make a lot of money and give it all away. Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggle and the pay, make a lot of money and give it all away. Down to the river, booze on the run. Here's Dollar Bill with his old shotgun. Chicken with the law, juggle and the pay, make a lot of money and give it all away.
See you later. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.